It's no surprise that I have other interests other than Star Wars. Not that I don't like Star Wars, obviously I still upload videos to his channel, because I still love Star Wars, but I have many other interests and many other type of movies that I watch. And over the last couple of years, I've become a fan of the actress Annasophia Robb and her movies. And what I noticed when watching her movies is that there's a overlap of people that she worked with or is in the same cast with that appeared in Star Wars. So I want to make this video where I talk about all the actors that have appeared in Star Wars, but also have appeared in a movie that Annasophia Robb is also in. Now, before I go into anything, just to do a brief recap, who's Annasophia Robb? She's a child actress that was really, really big in the 2000s, early 2010s. Not to say that she ever fell off, but it's just as Hollywood moved to more franchise movies, her type of movie that she likes being the one-off movies sort of fell off, but she's still a very, very popular actress that is well respected in Hollywood to this day. She's very, very respected, very still popular, not like A-list celebrity, she's like a B-list celebrity, so she's still very, very popular to this day, and she has acted alongside other actors that appeared in Star Wars. And to clarify, I'm only covering, there's only so many actors I can cover, because I spent 2 to 3 hours looking through every single, most actors' filmography to see if there's an overlap. And so if I miss someone, if I miss an actor, then please comment down below, because it's just so tedious for me to do. And I looked at actors that you would obviously recognize and other actors that you wouldn't recognize. So I went through the entire thing, or most of her filmography, to sort of just see. And so I'm also going in chronological order of her career. So she started acting in 2004, and so from starting in 2004, moving upwards from there. The first up is Josh Peck. Yes, the Josh Peck, because Annasophia Robb was in an episode of Drake and Josh, and to clarify with shows, I'm only covering actors that were in the episode she was in, not every single actor that appeared in Drake and Josh. That would be impossible for me to do. So in one episode of Drake and Josh, only Josh Peck was in a Star Wars project. And you ask, well, what Star Wars project? It was Lego Star Wars All-Star. Now it was in 2018, he played the character of Pace. No idea who that is. I never even heard of this until now. But Lego Star Wars, a bunch of Lego stuff that has appeared. And so, this is a really cool thing. I think it's cool. There's an overlap there. So next up we have Freddie Highmore from Charlie and Chocolate Factory. They both appear together in that movie. And Freddie Highmore, he actually appeared in Visions Volume 3 in the episode The Ninth Jedi, Child of Hope. And he played the droid Tito. So if you're a fan of Visions, you'd be like, oh, that's cool. And when I figured that out, I was like, that's pretty cool. That was him. So good for him for being in a Star Wars project. Sticking with Charlie and Chocolate Factory, we have Christopher Lee. Obviously, he's Count Dooku in Star Wars, but if you forgot, in Charlie and Chocolate Factory, he's Willy Wonka's dad. He appeared in a couple scenes. So yes, Christopher Lee is in Charlie and Chocolate Factory. And so even though Annasophia Robb did not act alongside him, they're in the same cast, so that counts. So awesome that in Christopher Lee's filmography, he shares a movie with Annasophia Robb, and that's all they can ask for. We're still in Charlie and Chocolate Factory, but not the movie, the video game. Because there's a video game where Annasophia Robb plays Violet again. She reprised her role. But the actor I'm talking about here is James Arnold Taylor. Yes, it's the James Arnold Taylor. He played Willy Wonka in that video game, and obviously he's Obi-Wan. Obviously, he's Obi-Wan in the Clone Wars movie, and he's a voice of a plethora of other characters, but I'm probably just focused on Obi-Wan here. James Arnold Taylor, and along with a lot of voice actors, they're in everything. That's just how it is. So there's gonna be another voice actor on here on this list, just to let you know that you may know, or that may be a surprise, or may not be a surprise to you. So I'm gonna take a detour for a second, because my favorite movie from Annasophia Robb's catalog is Bridge to Terabithia, and you would think that an actor from that movie will be in a Star Wars project. No. There is no one from Bridge to Terabithia in the cast of that movie that's in a Star Wars movie. I'm being dead serious. I looked at everyone's filmography in this movie, and there is nothing. There's nothing. You think Josh Hutcherson could be in the movie? No. You think Robert Patrick? No. You think he would be, but no. No one is, and I'm annoyed at that. Go check for yourself. There is no one. Like I said, if I overlook something, comment down below. I would love to be proven wrong about this, because I would love for there to be an overlap between Bridge to Terabithia and Star Wars. If one actor appeared in both projects, that would make me really happy. But for right now, there's no one. Next up, we have Woody Harrelson. He was in a movie called Sleepwalking that Annasophia Robb was in, and even though, like I said, was similar to Christopher Lee, the two never shared screen time together, but they're in the same cast, so it counts. And obviously Woody Harrelson was in Solo. For this next one, we're doing two actors. These two actors are, kind of like a pair together, you could say. You may have heard of them. They're Hayden Christensen and Samuel L. Jackson. You probably never heard of them. They were in, Star Wars. They're playing, Hayden Christensen played Anakin, Samuel L. Jackson played Mace Windu. I'm just joking. Obviously, this is like a really big deal. Basically, like, this was like a culture shock to me that in the movie Jumper, both Hayden Christensen and Samuel L. Jackson share the same cast as her, which is insane. Now, like I said, for other actors on here, she doesn't share any screen time with them, but the fact that her name is next to their names is so crazy, especially for this movie. The movie Jumper is a very synonymous movie for Hayden Christensen, because like Hollywood tried to make him a really big star, and Jumper was sort of that movie that broke the camel's back, where the movie wasn't received very well, it didn't make a lot of money, and Hollywood tried to promote it, because like having Samuel L. Jackson in it was like, oh, let's have the two actors reunite together, because they were last together in Star Wars. They're trying to do that, and it didn't work. But it's crazy how with Jumper, that effectively kind of like was a big stain on his career, like Hayden Christensen's career. But for Annasophia Robb, it was like, nah, it didn't really matter to her. It's just another movie in her filmography that she's, I would guess, really good in. I haven't seen the movie, but I don't know if I kind of do want to see the movie, because like it's very synonymous. I want to see how bad is this movie. Like, I have no idea. That's why I kind of want to watch. Like, how bad is this movie really? Is it just people being annoying, or is it actually like genuinely bad? I don't know. I eventually do want to see it though. So we're actually jumping a bit in the timeline here. So Jumper came out in 2008. Now we're going to 2014 with Seth Green in Robot Chicken. Yes, Annasophia Robb was in one episode of Robot Chicken, and because Seth Green's in every single episode of Robot Chicken, or most episodes, that's just the case. Now, if you forget what Seth Green played in Star Wars, he played Toto, the droid that accompanied Cad Bane in a couple episodes of the Clone Wars and the Bad Batch. I really like Toto. I don't know why Toto doesn't come back in live action. You would think that he would return in live action. I like him. I think Seth Green does a really good job of voicing him. He's a funny character. That's why I like him so much. So, I mean, I'd like to see Toto in live action, but I don't know if that will be possible. I think they fully forgot about him. And we need justice for Toto here. So a couple years later, 2017, we have John Leguizamo. Yes, him. And what movie did they both share together? It's called the movie The Crash. Don't watch it. I watched it. It's not a good movie. It's a very, very generic movie. But you may ask, what did John Leguizamo play in Star Wars? So he was in The Mandalorian, playing the character called, well, let me get here, Gor Koresh. You know who he is? If you remember in the season 2 premiere, he was the one-eyed green alien thing that him and Mando had a conversation with at the beginning of season 2 of the first episode. I thought Jon Favreau voiced him, but I guess not. Maybe I'm not sure. This next one is really, really cool, and the reason why I wanted to make this video in the first place, and that's because this next actor is Alex Losser. Hopefully I'm saying his last name correctly. Now, you may not know who is he? He's Nemec from Andor. And yes, he was in the movie with Annasophia Robb years prior to Andor called Freak Show. Now, this is really cool because, like, if you're someone that's a big fan of Nemec and him who played Nemec, then Freak Show is a really good movie for that. Now, I do want to clarify, the movie Freak Show is a very uncomfortable movie. It's really cool that, like, years prior, she worked with him, and then years later, he got cast in Star Wars. So that's really cool. Moving forward in the timeline to 2021, we have Ed Sheeran. Yeah, Ed Sheeran was in Star Wars. But you may ask, how did the two share screen time together? Well, in 2021, Ed Sheeran released a Shivers music video, and she was the woman in that music video, which obviously go watch that music video or rewatch it if you haven't watched it in a long time, because she outperformed Ed Sheeran, which is very funny. But to answer the question, who did Ed Sheeran play in Star Wars? Well, in The Rise of Skywalker, He played an uncredited stormtrooper. I don't know where he's in the movie. I'm not gonna look it up because like that seems like that's a headache to do. I don't know, but like he's somewhere in the movie or at the lead scene somewhere. Lastly, we have Aaron Pierre. He was in Rebel Ridge, and this is like his breakout role. And even though I'm covering him because he's actually very, very important because he's gonna be in Starfighter. That is crazy. Let's just say Annasophia Robb got Aaron Pierre into a Star Wars project, so that's her contribution to Star Wars. And with that, I'm going to end things here to sort of wrap things up. I would love for Annasophia Robb to be in a Star Wars project. I mean, she's never going to be in one for one reason or another. I have speculation to why, but I'm not going to get into it in this video because that'll be way too long of a rant and a discussion for that. But, like, I would love to see her in a Star Wars project. I don't know what capacity, because everything that she's in, she makes it better. What I've noticed about watching her filmography is that the more of her is in a project, the better that project's going to be. The less of her, the worse it's going to be. That's a trend I found out. Is that if you're going to have her in a project, in a Star Wars film or a show or whatever, she needs to be like the main character or the main female lead, because she has to. Because whatever she's going to be in, it's going to be good. I know it. So, but that's just my opinion. What do you guys think? Do you think were you informed about this video? Because like, what are actors where you're like, oh, I didn't know that? Probably so. But I'm going to end things here. If you guys enjoy, hit the like button, subscribe. I'm going to go now. So, goodbye, everyone.